go to the bathroom and wondering, you know, is it on the outside or is it inside? And you tweet it, you know. He says, no, man, but I got it off of you because you started the first blog before it was called a blog, and you started the first website for a rap group ever. I said, yeah, so, okay, let me look into Twitter. And I'm looking into Twitter now, I'm a Twittier. But I don't be like, you know, I went to Panera Bread, and you know what? You know, with my old ass, and you know, this is the thing about black man in this country needs to brag about being 50. And when myself and Griff turned 50, we shot a video called Say It Like It Really Is at Niagara Falls. And we said, you know, everything we're gonna do, we're gonna draw a line. Everything we did in our career is drawing a line to some kind of parallel movement in the past, whether it be music or whether it be history. Because in this country, you know, most Americans are shorted history and geography. And you know, if you take history and geography away from a human being, you're damn near chaining them to making them a slave to whatever propaganda pops up. History, you know, if you wait for history to be told to you, is that Pavlovic? I'm gonna wait for history to be told to me. I'm not gonna dig into it and try to figure out and discover history. Or better, I'm gonna wait for somebody to tell me geographically where I'm at. I mean, the World Atlas is available to everybody, especially on your smartphone now. I mean, matter of fact, there should be anyone out there in the world today, and I should say as far as a demographic of younger people who say, I don't know, when you could just go right to your phone and say, I ain't gonna tweet for a minute. I'm gonna just go right to Google and get me a goddamn answer. I mean, I suggest don't do that in your classroom. Although many of y'all got the pattern down. My wife was a university professor at Santa Barbara out in California. 3 years ago, she was shocked and amazed. She came home, she said, I can't believe this kid was on Facebook while I was teaching. I said, this is only the beginning of the end, because it's about to be on. And sure enough, the university had to just cut down the Wi-Fi in that room. Just cut it off, seal it off, put a lead roof over it. So this is what's going on. Every 4 years, things change. So, you know, I'm not the type of person also to tell you, turn your phones off. I mean, you can tweet, you know. I mean, look, seriously, if I busted my ass coming on this stage, I know you like, YouTube. Like, yo, I got respect for you, Chuck. I mean, my daddy loved value. I mean, I heard your music when I was growing up, but I gotta put it up, y'all. I like to I think the prestigious black men, aggressive and prestigious. I salute you. They was like quick to repay on me, man.
But I didn't get
progressive.
He says,
without no struggle, there's no progressive. You don't get mad at their insurance commercial, right? Make a mockery out of it, right? I saw a different progressive commercial today. I was like, all right, you getting carried away with your hip-hop vernacular in the middle of selling insurance. I thank y'all, and also thank the Union Production for coming together to bring me out to Florida State in beautiful Tallahassee. Okay, my notes, what do they mean? I'm gonna say some anchor points, and you know, and basically rap, race, and reality and technology, all right? And I would say, point one, the breakthrough of hype and super media. Black History Month, like I said, I've been doing this since 1991. It's the shortest and the coldest month of the year. It used to be called Negro History Week for those that never knew where Black History Month comes from. But again, of course, if you really dig into your history instead of waiting for it to come to you, it hits you over your head, you understand that your history is every minute, every day. This has just been assigned to black folks out of an obligation in the last century, strange as that sounds. I don't have lectures because you get a lot of that, but I suggest if you're on a college campus, get your money's worth. Because if you don't get your money's worth on your college campus as you learn the grade, whether you're paying for it, your parents paying for it, whether you got one of those remaining grants or student loans that we used to get back in our day that they just totally snatched away from y'all. And make sure you get your money's worth. You bought one of them whack-ass Hummers, right? With spend, how much a Hummer cost? No, like, you know what, let's go to Young Jeezy. How much a blue Lambo cost? Oh, I get a blue Lambo. What? You can't have no blue Lambo in the hood anyway. Cameron had some kind of pink Lambo. Oh. How much that cost anyway? Y'all know, come on now. Help me out. Help a old dude out. How much? $200, $300? $1,000, right? How much a 4-year education cost?
Too much.
Now bust this, right? I'll give you old school vernacular, bust this. Now, if you spend your money to get one of those pink Lambos, right, and they gave you a hoopty, you'd be mad, right? Now, how many people got hoopty GPAs? All right. I consider myself in these 5 sessions and conversations a raptivist combination of what I've done and known around the world, and being active instead of just sitting home waiting for it all to fall in. I come from a period where artists had something to say, but it didn't start from rap people. It started way back into the 1800s where, you know, if you saw the old movie, the old TV series that they took off of TV, Roots, when Fiddler got on the fiddle and got mad when Kunta Kinte got his ass whooped by the overseer and the master, and he said, I'm gonna play me some, I'm gonna play. And he was playing that fiddle, he was playing those notes hard. He couldn't express verbally that he was mad at the master, and he played them hard in those notes. Black music has always been look out, love music. Matter of fact, you couldn't say the word nigga in a loving way all the way until 1989, when it was somehow endorsed by the corporations at hand to start a group called Niggas with Attitude. Matter of fact, you couldn't even say nigga in the street. Not to say the word doesn't exist. The word does exist, but it ain't a word of love. Care how much people turn around a word. You can't turn around every word. If you go up to a brother and call him a P-U-S-S-Y, right? And you say, you know, I love you, bro, I love you. I just flipped it for you. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. He's gonna run to his trunk with his car and probably just try to hit you with a stick or get his little tool, because he probably ain't gonna fight you, you know? But you know, you can't turn every word around. It would just be audacious to think that rap music and hip hop, the artists can turn that word around. But somehow from 1989 to the year 2000, the word nigga became acceptable, even to the point where they had white kids call themselves nigga, like KRS once in his song. The obligation to the music is an obligation to the people. And black music was always look out, love music, not derogatory, not I'm gonna kill you, you know. But then again, you know, we could speak for days explaining the process and how that happened. But it didn't start with rap artists saying something. It started from black musicians having to express ourselves in our music to get across what we couldn't say overtly. Maybe like people like Langston Hughes were able to put in a poem. Maybe people like writers and, you know, and even debates, you know, they're able to put it out in print when we were able to read and then able to write. But the music always had something to say. Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit, we can go on and on. You can do research, go to your smartphone and say Billie Holiday. That's with an I-E. All right? Now, artists had to say something, they had to perform too. Can't just say the alpha and omega of hip hop starts with hip hop. No, before that, you know, you had things that led up into hip hop. The beginning, the hip hop artists had to compete with artists from Philadelphia International and Motown. You talk about artists that were on the same stage as Cameo and Rick James. Run DMC and Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Flash had to perform with George Clinton. So you had the funk movement go into the hip hop movement. So when people just cut that off and just say hip hop just started as this Big Bang Theory, they're being incorrect. Artists had to say something. They had to represent most of the people, especially when R&B came along, and that was Reagan and Bush, meaning that a lot of black folks hit rock bottom, broke, and here comes the crack epidemic, which is a whole nother discussion, right? 20 years ago, myself, KRS-One, Dougie Fresh, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Daddy O from Stetson Sonic, you know, Kool Moe Dee, started a movement, KRS started a movement called Self-Destruction, which basically addressed all these ills that were happening in the community. This was actually in line of what black musicians and artists have been doing right throughout the course of that century. This took place in 1988, okay, to try to be able to balance out what was the stereotype of rap music and hip hop, and that's being balanced just like the people are balanced. 10 years ago, you had a movement of Black Star, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Common, Wyclef Jean, Lauryn Hill, the Fugees, you know, I mean, people like Murs, you know, who are still doing their thing today in obligation. Of course, they went and hit a collision course, and when people came across and said, you know what, this thing called gangster is the thing that happens to sell the most units. Who said it was a thing that was just about selling? Because, hey, we can talk about selling. There was no bigger business in this country than slavery because you didn't have to pay. You know, 100% employment, as you heard comedians say, because usually comedians speak for us more than rappers, because comedians can come through the portal of, you know what, I can